I'm making a comeback in the fit model division, specifically dad body.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
Yes, Dave.
And we're back, Chris and I, for another installment of Heavy Muscle Radio. Chris, you're down on vacation for the holidays in Miami, Florida, and we're both out of the cold, that's for sure. And this, I guess, is technically the holiday special because we got Hanukkah, Christmas, and everything else coming up later this week. And what made you decide to escape the cold Maine winters? Other than the obvious answer.
The month.
So you allow yourself to go on vacation in December?
What's that?
You're breaking up a little bit, Chris. I'm not hearing you too well. We're starting out with a little.
Yeah, of course.
You were perfect before when we were talking. See, Chris and I do a pre-show before we do the show, which is probably better than the show itself. But if we put the pre-show on, we probably would, no one would ever talk to us again. No, just kidding. we do all our impressions in the pre-show, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? I feel like that.
Yeah, you're better. Yeah, you're better now. So we got the holidays coming up a little later this week, and the bodybuilding, I guess Mel's show that I went to this past week in the Holiday Classic here in Punta Gorda, I think is technically the last show of the year. I don't think there's any other bodybuilding shows this year. I think he has the official title of last show of the year.
Yeah, the caboose of the league, right? The last one.
And you know what? He had, with crossovers, Chris, he had over 500 people in the show. And I was trying to figure out, both Mel and I were trying to figure out why it was so popular. And I said, Mel, it's December 21st, which, by the way, was my daughter Aria's 7th birthday. Happy birthday, Aria. And people want to get out of the cold. Look at Chris Aceto's down in Florida. So they came down, they did the show, and then they stay down here through the holidays, and they kind of, enjoy the warm weather down here in Florida. And it's a good destination show to do. And that's why, and plus it's a national qualifier. So now these guys are all nationally qualified for next year. It's a great idea.
Oh, I mean, I think of like bodybuilding always, of course, with warm weather anyway. So you can't go back wrong rather with the show in Florida. That's a huge turnout, 500. But I think the highlight of the weekend was John Hansen.
I was going to say our very own John Hansen was in the house. Let me pull up his pictures here.
I thought he looked great.
It's funny. I had a client in the show, Chris, who was in the 60s, 60 and over. And he calls me from the weigh-in and he's like, well, I guess I'm placing no better than second. I said, what are you talking about? He's like, well, John Hansen's at the show. I said, well, John Hansen's not 60 and over. He's like, yes, he is. He's like 62. I didn't realize Hansen is that old. I thought he was like our age, in the 50s.
Yeah, his biggest problem is that he's got to get that physique to match the face, because the face definitely looks far from
problems
60.
with creatine is.
Oops, sorry. Hold on, I want to play the video. There we go. Go ahead, Chris. Keep saying what you're saying.
He's doing the 3/4 Arnold back.
Yeah.
3/4 Arnold back. Let's see what other shots he does. He does all the old school, old.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dave's having technical difficulty.
Is it not
he
showing?
Great. Facially, he looks far from 60. I would like to see him. I'd like to see him keep competing.
I told him to do Masters Nationals.
Why not?
He's his own worst critic.
He only gets better. He'll only get better from here.
Yeah, I mean, how many guys over 60 years old look as good as he does? He's got that big rib box still, too.
No one in this.
So he won here.
All those poses from when he was like 20.
That's a Grushkin pose, the ab pose, right? He's good now. John was great. So John did the show. He won the 60 and over there at Mel's show, and we went out to eat after. So, which is the second time I've gone out to eat with him after one of Mel's shows. So it's kind of becoming a little ritual now. We went out with the Powerhouse Gym guys in Tampa there, and a bunch of his friends, and we had my friend Paul was there. We had a good meal. John Hansen's the only guy, Chris, that could get off doing a show, order a meal at a restaurant, and leave some of the food over. I would have been licking the plate clean, after my post contest meal. I said, John, you left food over. I said, how can you leave food? He goes, I'm full. I'm good. I said, John, you're way too controlled in your eating. I said, I've never seen anything like it.
Because he doesn't want to get out of shape.
He doesn't want to gain any. He has to stay in shape for next year. He's already starting his prep.
Breaking up like crazy.
Am I breaking up, or are you the one breaking up? I don't know. That's the question. I don't know.
You always blame me, of course. So
it could be me. It could be me. I don't know. I feel like my connection is good. But...
That's why I'm giving you that backhanded warning that I'm breaking
up. I'm not really sure who it is. You know what? Try to sign out and sign in again. Let me just see if that helps.
You find now. So
hold on. I'm going to kick you out. Come back in. All right. I don't think it was me. I think it was Chris, but it could be me. And Mel's show is always great, once again, because it's at this little Charlotte Convention Center there in Punta Gorda, which is a cute little community. They have bars and all kinds of little, stuff on the water right there. It's in Southwest Florida here, so the weather is tremendously good here all the time. It's about 20 minutes from where I am in Cape Coral. Very convenient, obviously. So I can, I have no excuse not to come to all of Mel's shows. And the people from this area here are really, really into bodybuilding. And I think it's really developing a lot more than it had in the past. How's that, Chris? Any better?
It seems to be so far so good.
Yeah. I think what happened. Yeah, I think it's your, whenever you're in your condo down in Miami, that they have a terrible Wi-Fi there. Isn't it funny that always in the most populated areas, they have the worst Wi-Fis? I never understood that, but.
Oh, nobody complains when they rent the place from me that there's bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So
well, because no one live streams there. They're just watching movies on their on their thing. So, but I was saying, the show in Southwest Florida was always a very kind of a dead area for bodybuilding. It's really picked up a lot. There's a lot of good bodybuilders up here now. And, I'd like to believe that I have something to do with it. Mel has something to do with kind of nurturing that. People know the competition is good. There's a lot of people who came in from Puerto Rico, from other states, once again, because it was the last show of the year. But I know a lot of local guys now that are really, really dedicated. The guys from Muscle Asylum Gym in Port Charlotte, who I'm really good friends with, John, the owner, they're really pushing the hardcore bodybuilding again down in this area. So you have a lot of bodybuilders who compete down here, not just the men, but the women too. And so it's good. Boston Lloyd's mom was in the show too. She drove down from Tampa.
I think the demographics just got younger overall in the last 20 years in Southwest. I mean, it went from retirement community to communities.
Yeah. You know what it is? a lot of people are moving to this area. You know, you're the one who told me Cape Coral, Fort Myers, very, very big areas where people have moved into. If you look, if you haven't been here for a while, but when you came here about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, you'd be shocked at how many new houses have been built. You know,
no, I won't believe it.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if I wasn't shocked. How's that?
I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen this quickly. So it's a really booming area. Like, you know, people looking to buy. It's gotten probably doubly as expensive when I first got here, but it's still cheaper than, like, you know, places like living in Long Island or something like that. So I think people are still coming down here and getting good deals. And I think the housing market dropped a little here because there's a lot more available. So this is probably a good time to buy if people are thinking about moving. And so it was good. I had a good time. I always love seeing Mel and his wife, little Mel. They did great. Steve Weinberger was down here head judging. I saw him and his wife. And Tim Gardner was on it was a really a top level judging panel. It was like an Olympia judging panel, and Dan Ray was here shooting pictures. So it was like a reunion. You know, Mike Lyons was here. You know, who used to get me auditions for commercials and stuff like that, because he lives down in this area now too. Ironically enough, all us New York guys moved down to the same area. It's pretty funny.
Exact same, huh? I bet he looks the exact.
He's a little heavier than he was, but yeah, he's pretty much the same, exactly. And he probably is responsible for getting more guys, you know, commercial and TV and movie work over the last 30 years than anyone else in the industry. Him and Adam Silver, you know, did some tremendous stuff, you know, back in the day. I got a lot of commercials from him and a lot of TV shows from him.
A lot of people did.
Yeah. So he's retired down here, and it's you know, like I said, they're doing it right. They have good backstage. The expediters are all good. Mel brings in everyone, you know, who's, you know, it's really Tim Gardner's crew who does it, but so it runs very professionally, the show. And I think because the show gets better every year, we get more and more people entering the show, and they realize, hey, this is a good place to get it, you know, nationally qualified. There's a lot of good places to go eat afterwards. Mel is also very smart. He starts the finals, Chris, at 4 p.m. So the show doesn't end at like 1 a.m. You know, it gets out at the normal time so people can actually have a good time afterwards. Anyway, so that's my story from this past weekend. I wanted to show you something. I wanted to show you. Did you see it? Have you ever been following Tiger Woods' son?
No.
Charlie Woods?
No.
Charlie Woods is an unbelievable golfer, Chris. You got to watch this shot he made the other day. I'm going to pull it up. I hope I don't get zinged to this thing. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Really good contact. This is a great looking shot. If it's the right number.
Oh, it is the right number. Oh, Charlie Woods has made an ace at the fourth. And guess what? His father was actually not watching. He had to take a break for a second, comes back out. Here's the roar of the crowd. And Charlie Woods.
Hole in one, Chris.
Yeah.
Talk about genetics, right?
It's my Rex Wheeler's son, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's unbelievable, right? Crazy. Kid's really good, supposedly.
Genetics, right?
Yeah, it's genetics plus work ethic. You know, when you grow up around it, I think you almost get indoctrinated into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it's like a gazillion, you know, right? Gazillion rounds of golf in his life.
I mean, look at your son. At 17 years old, he all he sees is bodybuilding. You know, all you do is talking. I mean, he's immersed in it. How can he not be good at it? If you want, you know, if you want it, your kid has to want to do it. But if they want to do it, I mean, he has every opportunity to have the best guidance, the best everything, you know, from you. Same thing with Tiger Woods' son, from him, you know.
Yeah. The only thing we're trying to avoid is Nick Walker's hookup.
You know, I wanted to ask you, a lot of people have been asking, who do you think is training Hadi Chopin now? Who do you think Hadi's coach is now that Hani is retired?
Probably same person who was coaching him when he came onto the scene in Vancouver and smoked everybody in his first pro show.
Which was who? Himself?
Himself.
Maybe it's Samson's wife. I doubt it though, because Oh, I wanted to bring up something, Chris. I got I didn't know people sent postcards anymore, but I got a postcard from one of my guys, Gindrich. It's from Croatia. Omis, Croatia. So I want to thank him for that.
I used to love it. You don't even see him.
You believe? Real postcard, Chris. Real postcard.
You may have to explain what that is to the audience.
I don't think most people would know. Yeah, you could actually handwrite letters and mail them to people. Yeah, without putting them inside an envelope. They're called postcards, and they have a picture on it from where you are.
You'd go into all the little stores, maybe 20 years ago, and there'd be pictures of Miami. You'd put a stamp on it and address it to all the people who you wanted to make jealous that in Maine that you were down here because the weather's beautiful and you're having a great time in Miami. Wish you were here. They'd show all the hotels on the beach.
I believe that the stamp was much less than a letter, right? Because it's not sealed, right? Wasn't it always cheaper to send a postcard?
Yes, it was cheaper. And the guy who invented the postcard is from Portland, Maine, and his house was for sale recently in the last 5 years. I'm dead serious. A little real estate.
I thought you were going to say you live. I thought you were going to say I live in his house. Yeah, I own his house. Yeah.
He had a beautiful home on the western part of Portland, Maine. And I always admired this house. And when it came on the market, you see that house, like, what the hell, blah, blah, blah. And it was in his family forever. And it sold in the last 5 years. And he was the inventor of the postcard.
How did you know that he was the inventor of the postcard?
Because in the Zillow description, it was, Dave Palumbo, inventor of the postcard,
Wow.
18, whenever he invented it, 19, blah, blah, blah.
I wonder if he actually made any money off of that. Is there any like patent on that or royalties, or is he just the guy who came up with the idea?
Just look at his. I
don't know. I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say? You repeat? Yeah, no, I know, but I guess if there's any legacy you're going to leave behind, at least if people know you invented something or came up with something. You're breaking up. I can't hear you, Chris. I couldn't hear you.
Based on his money.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to, before we go into some other information, I've been doing some market research for species nutrition coming up just to see what like products are on the market, new stuff that I might want to try or venture into or not. Just I like to do market research, and so there's a couple of products that I tried recently. I wanted to just tell you guys about. Larry's and that company Larry and Lenny's that makes those cookies. You ever see these cookies? Larry's and Lenny's. Anyway, they have a new product called Fitzels. It's their protein pretzels, and they have like a pizza. They taste like pizza. They have like a pizza palooza season, and I got to tell you, they do use pea protein. It's not whey protein, but the stuff is it's actually really. These are really good. They look like regular pretzels. They taste like regular pretzels, but they have like a pizza taste seasoning on them. And they have, if you eat the whole bag, you get 20 grams of protein from this thing. And they're pretty good. I have to tell you that I was skeptical. I bought them and I actually like them. So if you guys are looking for a little snack, Fitzels. I keep them in my car. If I ever get hungry, I can eat these things. That's my first thing that I was very impressed with. The second thing I bought was these creatine shoes. Do you remember Bill Phillips had creatine candies years ago? You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So these are 3 chews equal 15 grams of carbs, 3 diets, 3 fibers. So it's like 12 net carbs. There's some vitamin B12 in here, and there's 5 grams of creatine. So you need to eat 3 of these things to get 5 grams of creatine. Is usually what we want. So they're like these little chewy things, and they look really good. I was like, man, this is a great idea. They look like what are those not sweet tarts? What do those things look like? These little, I don't even know what they look like. But so I tasted them, and because they're sugar free, that's their whole shtick too. It's sugar free, and the pink lemonade is the flavor supposedly. and I was not impressed with them. They have like a weird, they have a good mouthfeel, but they're a little weird tasting. Maybe because it was the pink lemonade thing. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with these. I'm not really highly recommending these at all. So that's not on the recommended list. The fizzles are good. And then my third product that I tried, and notice these are not products that I make, and there's products I'm trying. I love Quest. We always had great innovative products. They have an RTD. The best RTD I always thought on the market was the Lean Body, that Labrada makes. I just like the taste of it, and I like the macros on this. So this one has 30 grams of protein, only 3 carbs, and 3 grams of fat. And it uses a milk protein isolate or milk protein concentrate, which implies there's probably a little bit of lactose in here, but it can't be too much because there's only 3 grams of carbs in the whole thing, and there's only 1 gram of sugar. So I would imagine there's only 1 or 2 grams of carbs in here. Probably one of those coming from lactose, which is not too bad considering it's an RTD. And I got to tell you, one of the best tasting things I've ever tried. They're as good as Lean Bodies taste-wise. And they're smaller too, which is interesting because they got 30 grams of protein in here. So if you guys are in the store and maybe you don't have something that you can make a shake with, or you can keep these in your car. I will tell you this, that they taste 1,000 times better if they're cold. If they're warm, not so great. Cold, they're unbelievable. They got the vanilla taste down so well that I was very impressed with these. So once again, I don't know if I would drink them just because they're probably not lactose free, but I drank half of one the other day and it didn't bother my stomach. So I got to tell you, Quest did a very good job with these. They have different flavors too, but I'm a vanilla guy, so I tried the vanilla. So those are my 3 product reviews for Heavy Muscle Radio today in my market research that I've been doing. And I got to tell you, 2 of them really, really turned out to be pretty good. The Quest RTD and the Larry and Lenny's protein pretzels. Although the protein source I'm not thrilled with because it's pea protein. So of all 3 of the ones, I would have to say the Quest has got my thumbs up on this one.
I don't think we need a protein pretzel, but go ahead.
No, but you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. I tell people to do is because this is when I would eat junk food, Chris, when I was bodybuilding. Like, let's say my friends say, hey, let's go out and get pizza. So before I would leave the house, I would guzzle down like 60 grams of whey isolate or whey protein, whatever was available at the time. And then I would go eat the pizza. So I always had my protein covered. You always got to make sure when you're eating, especially off season, it's fine to eat some junk food, but you always have to think protein. Everything you eat has to have protein in it. Nowadays, they're making these foods where they're actually, if you want to sit and eat pretzels while you're watching a movie or something like that, you can at least get some protein in your pretzels. So I like the innovation, Once again, for someone like your son, this would be great. You should, for Christmas, instead of buying him a toy he's not going to use or something he's not going to use, buy him a couple cases of this, let him keep it in his dorm room. I'm telling you. Very, very good gift. I would be very happy if I was your son and you got me that for Christmas. What do you buy your young? I was wondering, what do you buy your older kids for holidays? Like, what's the holiday gift of choice for the older?
We chuckling because we don't celebrate Christmas, and then 2, Freed's got a contract with Carnivore, so that's what he uses.
Oh, they're giving him some product. That's awesome. But what would you? I mean, I know you don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm sure you get your kids gifts and stuff like that. What would you buy them for, say, their birthday, for instance, like at 18, 19, 20 years old? What could you buy them? What do you give them, money?
Like a Ferrari or Lamborghini, But
no, come on,
sure
seriously. What? I'm just wondering what you get kids that age.
and clothes. You get clothes.
Oh, they like clothes? Okay.
That they pick out.
Gotcha.
One likes pseudo designer dress clothes, and the other one
fancy.
Likes clothes that he can work out in.
Which you probably can pull a few strings if you want to get those clothes for him, right?
Yeah.
You can call up Better Bodies and.
My oldest son orders the clothes off. Was it Temu? Stuff you like can wear it once and it falls apart, but it costs like $1.
Oh yeah, he buys that. He's smart. Very cheap.
Yeah.
Very cheap.
Very cheap. I take it on
My
the
whole
box,
house is
I
Team
throw it
U.
in the dryer.
It's from Team U.
It shrinks like 9 sizes, or the threads fall apart.
That's right. As long as you get it for $3, you can't complain though. So if you get a couple wears out of it, it's worth it.
Well, it's a nice shirt. It's a really beautiful shirt. You get to wear it 3 times at least.
Yeah. Pretty soon, I think, Chris, we're going to be. We thought that we never thought we'd be in a disposable society where, like, when a TV broke, you would throw it in the garbage. But obviously, we're at that point. Pretty soon, we'll have clothes that you wear once, probably, and they biodegradable. You probably just toss them in a bin, and they just fall apart. You're like, it'll be a one wear, like a paper cup you would use for a drink. You throw it in the garbage when you're done.
Could be.
No one will be washing clothes.
So.
Telling you, what we need is those in Star Trek where they have the food replicators and the clothing replicators. In other words, they could actually just beam you whatever you want. You want a ice cream sundae, you put it until you go into the machine, you hit the ice cream sundae and beep, and you got an ice cream sundae. That's what we need. We need a machine that just fabricates things like that. We're pretty close.
I'm sure we are.
We got 3D printers. We got 3D printers now. All right, hold on a second. What else did I want to show you? All right. Who else did I run into? I ran into. Remember Rick Schaff, the photographer?
Nope.
Yes, you do.
Dave,
I'm gonna pull his picture up.
Nope.
No, you know Rick. You know Rick. You definitely know Rick. He took a million pictures. He did pictures of everyone back in the day. Hold on. Second from the right, next to Hansen.
I don't know. I know the name vaguely.
You definitely know him. He lived in California when you were out there, probably.
No, I was out there, right? I was out there.
He's in Tampa now. He's in Tampa now. All right. Well, I know you know him, even though if you don't remember. Maybe you have a little early onset dementia. All right, I'm pulling up a video I want to show you. Now, Sid, our very own Sid, went out to Dubai about a week and a half ago because Bader is getting ready to open that Oxygen gym in Dubai there, and he did a walkthrough video tour of the gym. I'm going to play it because he did a great job on it. Let me pull it up here. All right. This gym is insane, Chris.
Gym Experiences has arrived in Dubai. Oxygen Gym is now open in Dubai and is set to change the landscape of gyms here in Dubai and across the Middle East. So the first room we're going to see is the functional zone, or CrossFit. Let's go check it out.
Can you believe how big
One of
this
the
place
defining
is?
characteristics of this gym is this training area. They're all sectioned by body part. So you have shoulders, chest, back, legs, with all unique pieces of equipment for every body group. Makes it very easy to train sequentially, however you want to train. Here in the cardio zone, over 100 pieces of unique high-end equipment. What does that mean for you? That means you will never have to wait for your turn to do your cardio. And now you're going to see my favorite part of the gym, the pool, the massive, spacious pool located on over 20,000 square feet here outside of Oxygen Gym. Inside Oxygen's nutrition shop, stocked with thousands of the top names, top brands from around the world. This is the Muscles Bar, where you can get a freshly prepared meal, your pre or post-workout nutrition, and of course, enjoy a large screen. Come here, relax, and eat. This is the place to be. Oxygen Gym in Dubai. We'll see you there. The next.
Pretty crazy, right?
Dorian would commit suicide if he saw that.
You want to hear something crazy about the gym?
Dave, not if he saw it. If he thought he had to prepare for a bodybuilding competition there.
You could live in that gym, Chris.
Yeah, he would say, I can get everything done with my 1,200 square feet.
Right. But you could live in that gym. I would never go home. I would just stay there all day, It has, food. They need an area to take naps. That's what they need, a nap area. You know.
Dave Palumbo got the hotel room that he got in Qatar. In Dubai, he would just move there, go to that gym all day.
Yeah. Well, you know, the interesting thing about that gym is that it's men only. No women are allowed in that gym, which is kind of weird. To have a gym that big. Now they're opening another one supposedly in a very ritzy part of Abu Dhabi, which is going to be like the new Beverly Hills of the Middle East, they're claiming. And that gym is going to have two sides to it and be double the size of that one. And it's going to be men and women. But this gym is men only, which I find kind of weird. But, you know, because Dubai is...
Dave, it's going to be the Beverly Hills. And then when you go there, you can say, Beverly Hills doesn't look anything like this. This is way better than
This is way better than Beverly Hills, right? You're right. It'll be better. It's $300 a month approximately to train at that gym, which is kind of expensive, you know, if you think about it.
My gosh.
I asked him if all bodybuilders will be able to train there for free, you know, like pros, and he said no. It's like more of a select group of people. Like, you know, I guess if you contact Bader and he feels, you know, that you're, you know, someone that he wants to invest in, then obviously you have access to the gym. But it's a beautiful gym. I wish we had the space over here to open gyms like that. You know, it really makes it so that, you know, you never feel like you're cramped. Even when there's 1,000 people in the gym, you're not going to feel cramped because it's so big and spacious. I don't even know how they can make money on a gym like this, but I guess at $300 a person a month, you can make money, you know.
Well, there's probably no property tax. Think of that.
Yeah, sure. That's true. True.
You know, right? A building that's...
But what do you think it costs to build that out, Chris? It's so big.
No idea.
A few million. 10 million?
I have no idea.
It's got to be 10 million. It's got to be 10 million at least. The equipment alone could be several million.
Well, I mean, it's all the labor costs, and labor is probably, right, if you have people
dirt cheap, yeah.
You know, right, putting it together, it might be cheaper than, you know,
Yeah.
Union United States.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. The labor is a lot cheaper. And they probably work around the clock there too. I know they do that in Dubai, the city of Dubai. So they probably, you know, build that. They probably knock that thing out in a month, you know.
With union workers and breaks every 12 minutes and right?
No, it's true. It's true. It was nothing over the summer. They did that in what, 5 months? They built that thing.
Well, I always say you wouldn't even be able to get one permit for 5 months where you are to build that. It would take you a year to get the lined up.
It took them 10 years to build the Freedom Tower, and that took the place of the World Trade Center. And they built the whole city of Dubai in 10 years and over there. So that tells you exactly about unions and non-unions. I believe.
You sound quasi anti-American there, Dave, when you just...
Because, you know, I can't take that all the political obstacles here to everything in this country. You can't get anything done. There's so much.
Did you see what Trump said? If you invest $1 billion, we will like violently cut through the red tape so that you can build immediately in the United States.
Right.
You know, someone with a ton of money from a different country.
Yeah. Well.
Red tape.
That's why people. Yeah, that's why people are going to other countries to live, because it's cheaper. I don't know. I heard that who was it telling me? Hold on, let me pull up my little cheat notes here.
Well, your cheat notes doesn't have because you accused me of having an early picture. You didn't even talk about the new division, which is the only news of the week.
Yeah, well, I did a video on it. I was gonna bring it up, but since you brought it up, let's talk about it. Fit model. You like it? You don't like it? What do you think about it?
Do I personally like it? Of course I don't like it. But just because I don't like something doesn't mean it won't be successful.
Now, the fit model is supposed to be like first of all, it's only in women's division. It's only the women that are going to be doing fit model. I don't know why they wouldn't do a fit model for the men. That was one of the things I brought up in my video. I said, if you're going to do women, you might as well do men too. There's a lot less men's divisions than there are women's divisions. And I understand why you're doing it, because they're doing it in Europe very successfully and they're making money from it. So you got to have it. It's like an introductory. It's really a novice bikini is really what it is. It's a novice division. And I think it's a good idea because it's going to bring money in the sport. But my suggestion was that they only have one division. So they have one open, one masters over 40. That's it. No novice, no junior, no 16 different masters divisions. There's no reason for it. I'll tell you why. Because it's a novice division. You don't have to have a novice, right? It's a novice division, meaning that it's for people who just kind of started working out. They don't have a lot of muscle yet. Maybe they don't have that grainy conditioning yet. It's like a beach body. What they originally became. As a matter of fact, they even said the prototype for this female division is Ashley Kaltwasser when she won the Olympia when she was 19, which was almost no muscle she had. So they let bikini get too big, and now they're rebooting it with this new division. But it's because it's a big intro division, there should be no reason why you should need a million different subdivisions, because it's the subdivisions that make the show last too long. That's my take on it. What do you think?
What do I think about what? That's not really a question. What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, what do you think about the division and how it should be structured?
I don't know how it should be structured. I think, like anything, they'll, put their feet in the water and see how it pans out. But in terms of adding another division, like people who are my age or 40 and over, for God's sakes, you came through bodybuilding, you're still like in love with the sport of bodybuilding, but pretty much every time they've added a division, it's drawn a lot more people into the sport. I mean, when men's physique started, it was kind of like a laughable event the first year. In other words, it was like men's beach body contest. And frankly, it was for people who, you'd see people who they weren't really in that good shape winning competitions. They people winning, quote, regional competitions with barely beach bodies. And look how that class just, in terms of numbers and level of competition, has exploded, I think, way past people's imaginations, including the people who, said, let's put this into our array of competition along with men's bodybuilding. And the same thing, classic physique. I think people felt like there was a need for the division, but I don't think that the explosion in popularity was on people's radar screen. And the crazy part is, both sports have parlayed people into big time superstars. Obviously, Chris Bumstead comes to mind, and men's physique has had superstars, in the past. Nothing like Chris Bumstead, but you never know where the division goes. You never know where the division goes in terms of total number of competitors. It may be incredible. And I think of it as diversification. They always say you should diversify, and I know people. Dave, you might not want to do a nail product, a nutrition product that's for women's fingernails, and people may do this product for women's fingernails. I'm not doing that. You got to do it.
Right.
You should be able to do it. Put this and this and this in the product, and why not put your name on it? And reluctantly, you do it because there's a market for it. And sooner or later, I said, "Hey, Dave, what happened to the protein powder?" Well, we're not really focusing so much on the protein powder as much as the women's nail. Because you never know where the next growth segment to something may be.
Right. But you know what? You could also, let's say you have a protein powder and someone says, let's come out with another version of that protein powder that's almost the same, but it's maybe it's a little cheaper. And, you kind of cannibalize your sales of the other protein powder by having a cheaper version of your powder. And people say, you know what? His protein powder is not that good anymore. It bothers my stomach. Well, that's because I'm using a cheaper version. and they're buying the cheaper version. So you have to be careful to differentiate between the two. The way I see it and the way they're right now pinning it is, and I like the introduction of the division because I think they need it because they're doing it in Europe. Rafael Santos is doing it in Europe, and he's getting a lot of people in it. They need it. It seems like it's the original incarnation of what bikini was before bikini got too big. Men's physique would be fit model too. Fit model for men would be men's physique before it got too big.
Yeah, I mean,
men's physique guys are bigger than the classic guys, upper body wise. The men's physique athletes today are bigger than the classic physique guys, upper bodies, and we like that look. But there's no intro division for men anymore.
You do not know. You do not have the foresight. Neither does Jim Mannion and Tyler. You do not know where the division is going to go in terms of popularity. You got to try.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm agreeing. I think you need to have, because they made men's physique what it is today. You don't have an intro division anymore. You can't just come in off the street, off the beach, and do a men's physique show and do well anymore, because you're going to get slaughtered by guys that have development that is equivalent to these classic physique guys. So if anything, you need a fit model for men too, is what I'm saying.
Don't be surprised if the most important point on the whole show that you made is that one right there, that it is very difficult for you to come off the street and be like highly competitive at men's physique, because if you go to the national level, it's the best amateurs in the country, but they're really well developed, really well put together. That division, some type of like JV division to that division may develop. You never know. With a different parameter and a different look, and maybe this time along they change it and they do shorter shorts, so you have to have the total package. But beach type body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Miami Beach, and there's as many bad men's bodies in Miami Beach than there are in the summertime. By the way,
yeah.
So JFK, with RFK would be aghast.
All I'm saying is I think that they have to be careful not to do too many subdivisions of this new division, because by definition, this division is a novice division. It's for people who haven't really trained and don't have that much development. So there's no reason to have a novice version of the novice division. Is because here what I'm thinking. A lot of people complaining because they think the shows are going to take longer now by having this new division, and they're right. But you can keep it limited by not having a million subdivisions.
Hey, hold on. People bitch and moan about long shows. Don't go to the whole damn show. You don't have to go to the whole show. Just go to
But Chris, eventually there's no time. You're breaking up.
Physique, and you can leave.
Yeah.
Nobody's holding a gun to your head. Well, you have to.
No, I'm talking.
Hold a gun to your head.
Right.
The idea that people who bitch about long shows are just bitching and moaning. Nobody is holding a gun to your head, saying that you have to attend prejudging from the very morning to the very night. If you have a friend in the bikini division or the men's physique division or classic bodybuilding, go see it. You don't have to go to the entire.
I'm talking about when your son is doing the show. When your son is in a show and you got to hang out the whole day because there's 14 divisions of fit model and then 15 divisions of bikini. There's fatigue. There's audience fatigue, Chris, is what happens. So there's no reason to
not have to go.
Right, but all right, let's keep it with fit model. Do you think there needs to be 16 subdivisions of fit model? What's the purpose of that?
I don't know how many divisions that they're having, but I don't even know what the.
Do they need a junior? Do they need a junior and do they need a novice division of fit model?
They probably, hold on, Dave. They probably don't need a novice division, and maybe they don't need a junior division. But the fact is, the more divisions that you start, the more benefit. I'm not saying species directly or RX muscle directly, but the more divisions there are, the more benefit there is downstream for any single person we see on a yearly basis who's involved in bodybuilding, from Beta Budai opening up a gym to, you know, John Hansen's show. It just pulls in more people. Classic physique.
I agree. But if you have too much is no good either. It's like too much training. If you train for too many sets, you don't make progress.
A panic about the total number of classes, because when they started classic physique, they didn't say we're going to have a junior classic physique and an over 40 class.
But you can have that for those divisions, because there are guys that are starting in classic that are not as good as the guys that have been doing it for 5 years. So you can differentiate between classic when novice classics versus open classes. But the fit model, by its definition, is people that don't have a lot of muscle on them.
Well, we haven't even seen one winner of one fit model show.
But they're using Ashley Kaltwasser as an example of the fit model when she was first starting, when she was young.
They had to come up with some type of answer. What's it going to look like?
No, but I think that's a good look. I agree with them. I'm in total agreement, by the way. I think the division is a good idea. I'm just trying to figure out how to limit it so that it doesn't turn into a monstrosity. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I have a problem. If you didn't read between the lines, I have the problem not with the long shows, but with the people who complain of the long shows, because you don't have to go to them. You don't have to go.
Well, you do. You kind of do. If you're in the show, Chris, you have to do it. You have to be there. You can't just disappear and then you miss your class.
You find out the schedule, and that, and then what? We are in 2025 in a week. Very soon, you'll be able to get a text message. If I can track my UPS package from the second it leaves Maine to the second it shows up in Miami Beach, I can find out, when I need to be backstage via text message for.
I hope so.
Masters
until the time they say, well, we told you not to disappear too far. Sorry, you missed your class. And they'd be right. Look, if I competed today, I'd be backstage the whole day. I wouldn't take a risk. It's too scary.
Dave, you look fantastic.
Remember when you would diet, you'd have these nightmares. You'd wake up that you showed up at the show, you didn't have Protan on, you cheated on your diet, you missed your class, all these anxiety dreams. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I just told
anyway, yes, I think it's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
It's a good idea, the class. They just have to, I think they have to just be very careful that they don't overdo it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, when I watch it, no. I wouldn't watch it, but it's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to show you another thing. We're talking about products. I'm doing this Parasite Purge product. It's fenbendazole and it's ivermectin. To be honest with you, I don't even know how they sell it legally. I think it's because it's a very low dose. You do 10 days of 3 pills a day. And then by the way, I don't make this. I'm just doing it. I'm telling you, I'm in the middle of doing it. It's 3 pills a day for 10 days. Then you take 5 days off, and then you come back and do another 10 days of 3 pills a day. Each bottle lasts you like a whole parasite cleanse. And I'll tell you, it's the first 10 days I did, which is the initial kill off of any parasites that will be in your body. I was pooping my brains out, not diarrhea, but pooping a lot more than I normally do. When I was off it for 5 days, I stopped the extra pooping. And then as I started up again, now I'm pooping a lot more. And I'll tell you something, my stomach is so flat, Chris. I think a lot of bodybuilders, because we eat so much food, we build up some parasites. Everyone has parasites in their body from the foods we're eating. It's your body kind of has a way of balancing them off. Sometimes they can get a little out of control. And that people who have distension or gas problems, like who get very gassy after eating, they say that can be caused by parasites. There are some natural parasite cleanses, but I'm telling you, I've tried those before. This one, I noticed a very big difference since I've been doing it. And once again, God knows how many parasites have grown in my body. I've eaten so much food over the years. And, everyone, you give your dogs dewormer every month. You deparasitize your dogs monthly, usually, if you take them to the vet regularly. Why don't we do that for humans? We never do it. We never deparasitize ourselves. So I think it's not a bad idea. You might want to give it a try. I don't care. Like I said, I have no vested interest or no stake in this company. They have other companies that have other versions. This seems to be the best one I've seen. If anyone wants to try it, they've been asking me. I did a video on it, so I'm just putting it up here just for people if they want to see which product I'm using. You might want to try it.
Listen. I had sushi last night. I was talking about parasites and worms this morning to my kids.
I'm telling you, you should buy if you buy 3 bottles, you get a much bigger discount. It's a lot cheaper. Buy 3 bottles, give one to your wife. You do one, and maybe give one to one of your sons, if you want to see how they feel on it. But kids don't really have a problem with parasites because they're so young. It doesn't matter. They can overdo kind of anything. But for adults, I'm telling you, it couldn't hurt to do it once a year. I think it's something that people are going to start doing on a regular basis. You mark my words, you're going to say Dave Palumbo said it first. But I really think it makes sense logically. There's a lot of research out there showing that people who have stage 3, 4. What?
Hold on. When you started talking about this, I was going to tell you, Dave, just take the bottles, take them out of the package, put on them, double the cost, make it your product.
Nah, I don't mind giving other products praise if they were.
After the show or before the show, do I say, like, Dave, I was just telling my kids this morning about parasites and worms. It's the first time I've ever discussed that with them.
Really? Isn't that weird, Chris? That's bizarre. Yeah.
And then, like, within an hour, I did not feel good, and I thought, like, great, I probably got worms or parasites.
See, Chris is going to go buy this now.
And I could tell immediately. It wasn't like, oh, what, are you going to get diarrhea? No, I can just feel something in my stomach.
Yeah. I think that it's something that's warrants being done. Like I said, there's some research out there, Chris, and people, if you go on the Facebook fenbendazole Facebook page, people who have cancer, stage 3, 4 cancer, have been taking fenbendazole, which is one of these dewormers, and they've been recovering from cancer. They've been making miraculous recoveries because they think that a body that is overloaded with parasites is preoccupying the immune system so much so that if you have cancer cells in your body, they're growing unabated and the immune system can't go after them. So if you get rid of that parasite load, now the immune system can go back to destroying the cancer cells. And it makes sense. It really does make sense when you think about it logically. And so give it a shot, guys. It can't hurt, it can only help. So that's my spiel for the day. I try to bring new therapies and new ideas into the fray, Chris, and this is one of my new ones. So, all right, let me see what else I got to talk about here. Checking my notes. Urs Kalsinski was guest posing this past weekend, dressed as a character from
Fantasy Island.
Goku. You see that? Hold on, let me pull that up.
He was dressed as
Goku. Now, I want to just give him some praise because I love people who bodybuilders that do guest posings and are creative with the guest posing, because you know what? It makes the show a very entertaining, thing for the audience to go watch. Because a lot of these shows are very boring, because there's not like it's not a pro show you're at. To see a pro guy like of his caliber spending time and developing a posing routine, putting on a costume, to me that adds that's a level of professionalism that I have to commend him for, because I don't see that a lot in guest poses these days. A lot of guys go up there with their gym shorts on and a hat on backwards, and they hit a couple poses, they're not in good shape, and that's the end of it. But this guy's in good shape. He has a tan on. He had some sort of a routine set up. I mean, I think that's professional, and more people should take a page out of his book.
Wear that outfit for the fit model division.
Chris, I miss props. I know a lot of people didn't like them. I like when the guys were able to use props in the pros, and Ronnie Coleman ruined it for everyone because he came out dressed as Moses that one year.
Yeah.
It was too much. People didn't like that. I don't know why, but I thought it was brilliant on his part, but I don't know. So anyway, kudos to Urs.
He was going to come up as well as Jacob, but he wasn't as popular prophet. So
Oh my God. I also want to give. I'm gonna end the show with this because I want to give very big praise to Samson Dauda, and I'm going to tell you why. Of all the Mr. Olympias that we've seen for the past couple of years, from Derek to Rami to I'm trying to think who else who held Hottie. I think that Samson is actually acting like a Mr. Olympia should. He's showing up. He's doing guest postings. He puts stuff on Instagram. He talks about, takes his clothes. He gives us posing footage. He's representing the sport of bodybuilding. I think way more than some of these past Mr. Olympias have. The other guys seemed to they were hiding in the shadows. They weren't really doing anything. Rami was probably the worst of them all. You didn't even see him at all. And he didn't post anything. Derek was better. Hottie was a little better. But I think Samson is going to be a very good representative of the sport of bodybuilding. He has no problem traveling all over the place. He doesn't make excuses. He has to sequester himself for the whole year. And he's putting himself out there. He's doing shows. He's going to do the Arnold this year. I think that he should be commended for being a great Mr. Olympia. And he just started his reign, only a couple months now.
Yeah, no.
What do you think?
He's very, very visible, and he's very competitive. He's done lots of shows in the last 2 years, running up to the Olympia, after the Olympia. I mean, he's the real deal.
I think, but that's what Mr. Olympia should be, isn't that? Shouldn't he be out there, promoting the sport? He's an ambassador for the sport now. He's our number one guy, and he's doing a great job of it. And no one else has done that for the last couple of years. And I don't know why, but I mean, Phil was out there when he was competing. He was available for people. Jay obviously was all over the place. But after that, it was kind of like, it got quiet, and I don't know what the reason was, but I'm glad that Samson's putting himself out there again and making the sport of bodybuilding popular. That's why Bumstead became so popular, because he filled the gap that was missing in the bodybuilding open world. That's really what I feel, at least.
Yeah,
I'm hoping Samson can get the level of popularity of a Bumstead. That would be great for him. He's certainly going to make more prize money than Bumstead made.
Yeah.
Right? He can make over $1 million this year.
Yes, he could.
First bodybuilder ever to net $1 million in prize money for the year.
Yeah, call him. He's going to have Ron Norman on speed dial.
Yeah, you better pay his taxes, exactly, Chris. We know a couple guys who got in a lot of trouble for not doing that, right? Back in the day. We won't mention any names. All right, one more big announcement. Chris, I know you and I were at the last rendition of the FIBO Men's Open Bodybuilding Show. I don't remember, what year was that? Was that when Cedric won?
Yeah,
who won that?
2013.
Well, they're bringing it back. 12 years later, FIBO is going to have a men's open division. I think they're going to have a classic, and I think they're going to have a women's division too. I'm so happy that, first of all, for people who don't know what FIBO is the biggest trade show in the world. It's bigger than the Arnold Classic. If you've ever gone to FIBO in Cologne, Germany, it's something that you should try to attend at least once in your lifetime. It's absolutely incredible. And it was always just billed as a trade show, but for a couple, I think it was 1 or 2 years, they started holding a men's open bodybuilding show there, which I thought was tremendous because the German fans love bodybuilding. It was always very popular. Chris and I, like I said, were at the last one. I think we were both of them. And they just stopped doing it. I don't know why they stopped, but they stopped doing it, and they're bringing it back this year. I think it's a great idea. What was your experience at FIBO, the show last time we were there?
Yes. That the German bodybuilding fans are, without a doubt, best bodybuilding fans in the world. I've been to lots of bodybuilding shows, and I've been to shows in Germany, and the German fans are the loudest. They will cheer for every single person in the show, in a pro show, and they will go nuts on comparisons, and they will scream and shout and blow horns, and they're incredible.
Yeah, it's they're gonna have women's bikini, classic physique, and men's open.
They deserve a pro bodybuilding show. They just don't deserve 19 divisions of the fit model division.
All right, stop breaking balls already. I thought it's a great idea that they're actually bringing this thing back to Germany. Germany should always have a bodybuilding show there, at least a men's open, because it's hardcore bodybuilding. They're like the New York fans there. Like when we remember in New York, the Night of Champions or New York Pro, they get the best audiences. And you know what? They got them in Germany too. So there's the schedule. Let's see.
The red tape it takes to build a building in New York compared to Dubai.
April 11th, 12th weekend it's going to be on. Okay.
Are unequivocally better than the New York bodybuilding fans.
Yeah.
I've been to lots of New York Pro shows, and I've been to the FIBO shows, and I've been to when they had the Olympia, whatever, blah, 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 the last time they had it in Germany, and the fans go nuts.
Look at all these. Sid, scan back for a second. There's a lot of big pro shows coming up. Look at that. So you got Detroit is in March. That would be after the Arnold. Then you got the Arnold South America, April 4th weekend. Then Germany's the weekend after that, which is the FIBO one. I hope I hope they invite us out there to cover the show. That would be great. Then we have the Emerald Cup. Oh, that's Masters. Then we got Pittsburgh, which is the $100,000, right? First prize. Then we got New York Pro Steve Weinberger show. Then we get the Cal State the week after that. Then there's a natural show, but then they get the Legion Sports Fest at the end of May, beginning of June. Then you got Toronto the week after that. Then you got a whole tour. You got Spain Pro, Dubai Pro, China Pro, Italy Pro. If you can't qualify for the Olympia this year, there's something wrong with you. Portugal Pro. You have in the middle of the year, Chris, a European tour. You have in Amsterdam the Euro Muscle Pro show. I'd love to go to Amsterdam, man. I haven't been to Amsterdam in years. Chicago after that, Tampa.
Amsterdam for 1,000 for Dave Palumbo.
Yeah. Texas Pro, Tupelo. That's the Masters. Italy Pro in September. Germany Pro. Do we have a date for the Olympia yet? Sid, I don't think we do yet.
Christmas
I don't
Day.
think we have an Olympia. Christmas Day. I don't think we have an Olympia. So,
Dave, I don't even read those off to me because I got people on the show and it's just too exhausting.
All right, so you can qualify up until September 14th of 25. So that will be the last qualification for the Olympia. So I imagine the Olympia has got to be in October, November sometime. Probably October. So I don't think we have an exact date, but that's Germany is going to be. Oh, there's another Germany Pro in September too. Huh, that's Dennis James' show. Okay. So that will be the last qualifier of the year, it looks like. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, Chris, for 2025. The schedule's packed. We got a lot of money we're going to be giving away. And I think that people are going to be very excited about what's coming up this season.
Throws that in there. We're giving away a lot of money. Did you say we?
Yeah. We as in the bodybuilding community. Yes. Chris will be doing Fit Model Masters 55 and over at the Masters Nationals this year. Stay tuned. Chris will be doing weekly updates with his son. He'll be posing, and if anyone wants to hire Chris to do Fit Model posing, Chris will be doing Fit Model posing for people for $100 a session. It will be taking place on Zoom. Contact him. I'll put his contact up on the screen so people can contact Chris for Fit Model posing.
I can get Walmart.
Chris, enjoy your vacation down here in South Beach. And thank you guys for joining us. As always, we're out of time, as we say every week here with Heavy Muscle Radio.
The truth hurts.
We'll see you next week. Have a great Christmas.